Morning, YouTubers. I'm in the shop today working on the Chevelle again. This video is about bracket racing. I love it. I've been doing it for over 20 years, but it is very tough to win. Currently I'm second in points at the local track. I was leading the points for a while, but what I'm up against is a car that runs in super gas. It's a lightweight fiberglass body car that's designed and built to run on a Pro tree, like a Pro 400 tree. And my car is not really made for that. It's a heavy stock suspension Chevelle. But I've been doing pretty well with it. But the problem is, his car is throttle stopped to run 990 index. My car runs 920s. So the problem is, at the last race I made it to the finals again. And I was all pumped up, gung-ho, got pumped up to cut a good light, and I forgot that his car leaves first. I was dialed to 924, he's dialed to 990. So in bracket racing, it's handicap racing, so the slow car gets to leave first and the faster car has to catch up. So I was all gung-ho to cut a light, and I forgot that his car leaves first. So I'm staged, ready to go. His car leaves and I see it at the corner of my eye and I flinch. I almost let go of the button because I'm used to leaving off anything I see, the first flash, whatever I see, I let go of the button to try to cut a light. So I flinched, almost let go of the button, got back on the button again, and my light came on. I let go, I was too late and I lost the race. I did get a new tool to help me with that. Well, it doesn't really help me with the light. What it does is help me dial the car in, and it's a weather station. And what this does is you log in your runs, and it has I don't know if well you can see this, sample air, setup, run entry, and predict. So I sample the air throughout the day, and I put in my runs. I log in my runs throughout the day. And once it gathers that information, it will predict what your car will run in certain conditions. So if the air changes a little bit from time trials to the first round, it will calculate that and calculate how fast your car will go. So what I did is I dialed in 924, you can see in the window there, and I predicted, this thing predicted that it'll run a 925. So I didn't want to break out, so I stayed safe at a 924, and the car actually ran a bang on 924. So this thing is a very good tool, and it's accurate, and it really helps me dial in the car, because the 2 weeks ago or a week ago when I lost in the final, I had a good light, but the car broke out. So now I shouldn't be breaking out anymore, so now I just got to try and cut a light. So what I've done now is something that I don't really like to do, but I'm slowing the car down to run 990 so that I can go heads up with this guy. So what I've done here is it's got an air throttle stop, and I can show you. I put the my command center in. So this is the command center, and what that does is controls the throttle stop. So I can adjust when that throttle stop comes on and when it opens full throttle, and on the throttle stop I can adjust it so that it's only part throttle when the throttle stop is on, so that it's not completely off, and then hammer the gas and spin the tires. It's very effective. I tried this a number of years ago to run in 1090, and actually I won the Ironman running this system. Here's the Ironman. There's the big Ironman. That is a trophy that they give out once a year, and it's very hard to get, but the system does work, and I'll show you how it works. Okay, it runs off CO2. Now that's all I've got is this big CO2 bottle, and I got to try to figure out how to mount it somewhere. I do have a little one but it's empty and I can't get it filled locally. Here's the little one. But I'll show you how this works. So here's the trans brake button. Oh, I'll get in here. Okay. Put my foot to the floor. Okay, now I hit the trans brake button. Car is up on the converter, she's ready to launch. I let go of the button. So that it will close the throttle to slow the car down for whatever I have programmed in the box. And then it goes back to full throttle again. If you guys ever watch these Super Gas or Super Comp Racing on TV, NHRA classes, some of the guys run this system, some actually have a plate that sits under the carburetor. But that's what it does. That's how they slow the cars down. So I can adjust that. I can program in how much of a delay I want for when that thing activates and how much time I want the throttle to be closed. So it's actually very easy to slow the car down that way, and you can slow it down consistently because it's the same every time. So that's what I'm trying to do. We got 2 races left in the season, and I'd really like to get that championship. I'm only 1 round behind, so I got to do whatever I can to try to get this car to run in the 990 so I can go heads up with the other guy. Also, there's the guy that's in 3rd place, is my buddy Brad. He was pretty upset the last race because his car broke out by 1/1000th of a second, and he was racing the guy that I'm trying to beat, and I was really hoping that he would beat him to take him out. But he's having an issue with his car. His converter, it wasn't getting up on the rev limiter because his converter, I think, was too tight, and then when he launched the car it would pop the tires out of the beam, and he was being a little inconsistent there. So I lent him a converter, the one that came out of the dragster here, my spare, and I hope it works for him so he can take him out and maybe get a little bit higher up in the points himself. He still has a chance, I think, to get the championship. 2 races left. So if I go out first round and the guy that's leading now goes out first round and he goes all the way, he can still win it. So I'm trying to help him not only win it but take out the guy that I'm competing with. And so we'll see how that goes. Hopefully that converter works for him. So now I just got to figure out how to mount that CO2 bottle. I think what I'll do is I have another mount kit for a nitrous bottle. I might just shorten that, and because the bottle's a bit smaller, and then just mount it on the floor there. So yeah, just to give you guys an idea how tough bracket racing is, it's tough to win. The car has to be dialed in perfect. The reaction times have to be perfect every time. Every now and then you'll get lucky and the other guy will red light or break out or whatnot, but but it's tough. I like to leave first. I like to have the slowest car, so I get to leave first, so I don't have to wait for that tree to come on. It's going to come on the same every time. The problem with that is I will also be the first car to lose if I red light. But with this car, it's pretty tough to red light. My lights average, best I had is a 409. They usually average in the high teens to mid 20s, which is competitive. But yeah, hopefully I can get this thing dialed in. Going next weekend, we've got a test and tune on Saturday, so I'm going to be testing all day Saturday and get this thing to run in the 990s. But yeah, see you guys later. Thanks for watching.